welcome to the Football Philosophy channel. I settled down for an enthralling night's football last night to watch Spain versus Germany. Spain needed to win to get through to the semi-finals of the Nations League. I expected a really exciting game. I expected a tough game with no quarter asked or given, and Spain ended up winning 6-0. I was absolutely shocked by the Germans. Spain played brilliantly, but I was shocked by the German defending. I couldn't believe it was 3-0 by half time. I actually switched over and watched the Portuguese game for the last half hour. I watched the last half hour of Portugal's game in Croatia. On the Spanish game, Ferran Torres of Manchester City scored a hat-trick for Spain. Spain played absolutely superbly. I was extremely impressed by Dani Olmo, who plays for Leipzig, who were in United's group. He played against United at Old Trafford and he didn't really catch my eye in the game at Old Trafford, but last night for Spain I thought he was absolutely brilliant. So I was expecting a really tough game, and for it to be 6-0 for Spain in the end, I was absolutely shocked. I thought overnight there might have even been news about Joachim Löw, the German manager, losing his job, but apparently the German FA say they're going to stick by him. It's the joint second worst defeat ever in German history, 6-0. So Spain win Group 4. Spain joined France, so they're the first two teams through to the semi-finals, which will be played next year. That's the semi-finals of the Nations League. As I say, I watched it until it was 4-0, about 50 to 55 minutes. I turned over to watch the end of the Portuguese game away in Croatia. I'd looked at the starting lineups, and Bruno had started the game, so I expected to watch Bruno playing, but Bruno had been substituted when I turned over. He'd been substituted at half time. I checked it all out. They were 1-0 down at half time. It was the only substitution that was made, so it wasn't like they made a few substitutions all at the same time. I can't find any news of Bruno being injured, so I'm assuming it was a tactical switch. So Bruno got the curly finger, as they say, at half time. They were 1-0 down at the time as well, and they won 3-2. Although I've got to add, Croatia, they had a player who got a second yellow after about 55 minutes. So Croatia played for more than half an hour with only 10 men. But Portugal did turn it round, and they won the game 3-2. It was a dead rubber, as they call it, that game, because obviously France have already won that group. France played Sweden last night. The United players who played in that game, Pogba played the first. France beat Sweden 4-2, by the way. Pogba played 90 minutes for France. Lindelof started for Sweden and played 65 minutes and was taken off. And Anthony Martial was on the bench for France and didn't get on. I've seen a few people on Twitter this morning making some comments about Giroud played and scored twice, and yet Martial couldn't score at the weekend. Ridiculous comments, really, absolutely stupid comments. It's only a week ago, people have got short memory, only a week ago Finland beat France 2-0 in a friendly in Paris, and in that game Giroud started and Anthony Martial came on as a substitute in that game. So it doesn't always work for you. Sometimes you can score, sometimes you can't score, but it doesn't really matter who scores the goals. What does matter is winning your games. And if you think about it, France have played 3 games in a week during the break. They've played one friendly. They've played the game last night against Sweden, which was really an irrelevant game. They've already won the group. And they've played one important game, which was the Portugal game. Had they lost to Portugal, Portugal would have been in the driving seat now, and probably, well, they would have done. Portugal would have qualified with that win last night. So the one important game that France played, Anthony Martial played, and in the other 2 games, Giroud played. Plus the manager after that game against Portugal was singing Anthony Martial's praises, saying how well he played in that game. Another thing to take into account as well, and they do take these things into account when they've got players competing for places who are of a similar standard, if you like. But Giroud's not getting game time for his club. Anthony Martial's an important starter for Manchester United. So Manchester United will be pleased that Anthony Martial's only played the one game during the international break to give him a little bit of a rest in between the Premier League starting and finishing, I should say, and starting again. Whereas it's completely the opposite for Giroud. He's not getting into Chelsea's lineup. His club will be pleased that he's actually had game time during the international break. Obviously, I'm not applying this to the players, but I think both players would like to play. But certainly, as far as the clubs are concerned, Manchester United will be pleased that Anthony Martial's only played once, and Chelsea will be pleased that Giroud's had more game time and actually played twice. So I think that might be something worth taking into account as well. But there you go, France 4, Sweden 2 in that group, and Portugal 1-3-2. But France were through anyway. Another United player that played last night was Edison Cavani. I made a schoolboy error on my show yesterday morning. Anyone who saw it, a couple of people have pointed it out to me. I was, for some reason or another, I was assuming that it was a Wednesday night game, even though I was speaking on a Tuesday. And I was actually saying yesterday that Cavani wouldn't be back in England until late Thursday night, or possibly even Friday morning. But the game, as pointed out by one or two people, was on a Tuesday night. So Cavani will be back Wednesday night stroke Thursday morning, which throws a different light on the facts as to whether United might be prepared to use him against West Brom on Saturday. Anyway, Cavani played last night. They got beat 2-0 by Brazil. Uruguay they beat Colombia 3-0 last week, and he played 70-odd minutes in that game. He got substituted after 70-odd minutes. Last night, Cavani got a red card after 70-odd minutes. So for two different reasons, he's played 70-odd minutes twice, but at least that's good minutes under his belt. So that's another important point as to whether they might be prepared to use him from the start of the weekend. So he's played 70-odd minutes twice. Richarlison of Everton scored one of the goals for Brazil last night, and it was for a foul on Richarlison that Cavani was sent off. Richarlison scored one of the goals, was substituted after about 70 minutes, and Everton's Richarlison was replaced by a player called Everton. I happen to know this as well. So I hope Richarlison's all right. I hope it's nothing serious. But Cavani, 70 minutes under his belt again, and should be back in England by Wednesday night, i.e. tonight or Thursday morning latest. So that's last night on the big games last night anyway. Tonight 7:45 on Sky Sports main event, England versus Iceland. Gareth Southgate says he's going to play a strong team tonight. He's pointed out that England have only got 5 games between now and the Euros for him to work on his lineup, for him to work on different things. So he says he's definitely picking a strong lineup. Make no mistake, even though England have finished 3rd in the group, they can't climb any higher, they can't go any lower. But he still says he's going to field a strong side. I've just got to add personally as well, when he says that there's only 5 games for England between now and the Euros kicking off, it makes me feel as though next summer's virtually on top of us already. So anyway, let's see if he's going to pick a strong team. Probably Harry Maguire will pick. I think he got a 1-match ban, so I think Maguire should be playing tonight for England. Sky Sports football tonight at 7:45. Scotland against Israel. Scotland need a win to guarantee promotion into the top tier of the Nations League for the next tournament. They need to win to guarantee it, but the Czech Republic are playing Slovakia at the same time. If the Czech Republic don't win, then Scotland only have to match the Czech result. If the Czechs actually lose, Scotland will still get through if they lose. If the Czechs draw, Scotland need a draw. But as I say, to guarantee promotion, really, they need to go there and try to win that game. The Czechs are playing the Slovaks. I think that's it's always a big game for both teams. So I don't think it'll be a walk in the park for the Czechs. So the Slovaks might end up doing Scotland a favour tonight. So I hope so anyway. Fingers crossed for Scotland getting through. All the games are 7:45 tonight. Sky Sports Premier League tonight at 7:45. We've got Wales versus Finland. Wales just need to avoid defeat against Finland to gain promotion to the top tier. So I hope the Welsh can do that. I'm pretty sure Dan James will be starting in that game. On Sky Sports Arena, the Republic of Ireland versus Bulgaria. The Republic need a win to avoid relegation from the second tier to the third tier. So good luck to the Republic in that game. And on Sky Sports Mix, we've got Northern Ireland versus Romania. Northern Ireland need a win to have any chance, but it won't guarantee staying up, but they need a win to have a chance of staying up. Romania have still got to play Norway. That game was postponed through to COVID restrictions in one country or the other. I can't remember which. But Romania still have a game to play after they've played Northern Ireland tonight. So, Northern Ireland, if they do win tonight, we'll be waiting to see the result of that game. Where and when they're going to squeeze that game in now, I don't really know. So the Northern Ireland will be left hanging a little bit tonight, even if they win. The COVID restrictions being mentioned there brings me nicely to the FA meeting with the government yesterday. The FA have had a meeting discussing getting crowds back into stadiums. No date has been confirmed. They are working hard towards it, and there's going to be more discussions soon. And hopefully, there'll be a bit of news soon. I've had obviously this is a long way away from England, that hopefully that does come to fruition, that we do get a date soon when some sort of crowds can be back in. But a close friend of mine who lives in Australia now, Kieran Wilson, he moved over there years ago. He's at a rugby game over there. I think that'll be still being played as I'm speaking. He's at the Suncorp Stadium. Obviously, they're well in front time-wise. It's already Wednesday evening in Brisbane. He's at the Suncorp Stadium with his son Brody. He's watching the State of Origin rugby game, Queensland versus New South Wales. It's a 52,000-seater stadium, and it's an absolute sellout. The place is heaving. So well done to Queensland. They've got fans back in. Hope that can continue. They've done brilliantly there, and thanks for that information, Kieran. I've had a quick look at it. It was live on I think it was BT Sport, but I've had a quick look at it, and the stadium is packed out there. So I hope you're enjoying your evening, Kieran. Sorry. All the best to you and Brody. Enjoy the evening, and that's that for today. If you've enjoyed that show, please give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell all your friends about it. If you didn't enjoy it, don't tell anyone. Keep stum.